This is the Bay Area's news station. KRON 4 News starts now with breaking news.
And we start with the very latest that we know going on in Brussels, Belgium, where there was a terrorist attack, coordinated suicide bombings that have killed at least 26 people and injured 130. They happened at the international airport there and a subway.
Here's the scene at the Zaventem airport. You see people running from the terminal with two suicide bombers launching their attack, one of them in front of the American Airlines check-in counter. Hundreds of passengers were trying to check in at around 8 o'clock this morning when the explosion happened. And then in this coordinated attack, a third explosion taking place at a metro station right near the European Union's headquarters in the European quarter of Brussels.
So this morning, that airport is closed, and there are several airports here in the U.S. that have heightened security this morning. Good morning. I'm Daria Folsom.
And I'm Mark Dan, and we have full team coverage of the Brussels terror attack. Will Tran following the latest developments from the breaking news desk. Jackie Sissel watching security concerns with passengers at SFO. Let's start with Will Tran.
Mark, here's the very latest. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for the attacks. Over the past several minutes, CNN has reported that authorities in Belgium, they have located an assault rifle at the scene of one of the explosions. They knew that the attacks were going to happen. Sadly, they could not prevent it, and I'll go into detail in just a few moments about that. Now, U.S. officials, they say in our country we have nothing to fear, but you talked about everyone, the whole world is on heightened alert, including airports throughout the rest of Europe. Belgium's public transportation system basically shut down at this hour. Let's get right to the chilling images, the video. The attacks happened at a time when thousands of people were at the airport, maximum victims. Many people were at the ticket counter getting ready to pay for their overweight baggage. And then an explosion took place. A short time after that, just moments after that, another explosion at a Starbucks at the airport. A short distance between those two explosions, there was carnage. Witnesses describe a gruesome scene that actually it was so powerful, guys, that part of the ceiling in that area collapsed. Bags just scattered all over the place. Now, I can tell you that Belgium's prime minister, he's calling the attacks cowardly, blind, and violent. No surprise here, Belgium has raised its terror alert to its highest level during this time. And then about an hour later, let's head to the subway. They believe this was coordinated 8 o'clock in the morning at a time when thousands of people at the subway system, they were heading to work and school as well. Right now, the subway system has been shut down. The blast killed so many people at the subway instantly that when the paramedics arrived, they didn't even have a chance to rush the victims to the hospital to save their lives. Here's one witness reacting to the explosions.
I think I was in the subway just right behind the one that carried the bomb. So I was stuck between two stations. We all had to get out. There was a lot of smoke. We heard and we felt a blast.
So I want to draw your attention to the screen. I told you how they feared that the attacks would happen because of an arrest of this man last Friday. His name is Salah Abdeslam. He is associated, he has not denied being a presence at the France terror attacks that killed 130 people. Belgium officials, they raided a place in Belgium last Friday, took him away. They believe that he is part of the one of the highest suspects in that country. He is right now fighting extradition. President Obama this morning is in Cuba. He has been briefed by this. We are not hearing that he plans to make any public comments, but if he does, we will carry it for you live when it happens. The number continues to change. At this time now, guys, I'm hearing 136 people injured and 28 people killed. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Will. And we already know that there's additional security this morning in London's airport and in Washington, D.C. and New York City.
And then we're following the latest here in the Bay Area at SFO. Let's check in with KRON 4's Jackie.
At SFO, and as of right now, they say they have not changed any of their security measures and their alert status has not changed. But they do say they'll have an update at around 7 o'clock to let us know if any of that's changed. But this is what it looks like inside the terminal. This is what I saw just about an hour ago. You saw several uniformed San Francisco police officers going through the terminal on bicycles. I saw at least 4 of them inside of the terminal, obviously trying to make their their status known to people inside of the terminal. As far as flights in or out of Brussels coming from San Francisco International, there are no direct flights to Brussels according to the duty managers, so none of those flights are affected. But the issue is once you get connecting, most of those flights are connecting in New York City, you won't be able to get into Brussels because Brussels is down. Now, the earliest flight is around 10:30 this morning, so presumably if you're somebody who's booked on those flights, you should be aware that Newark, or LaGuardia is as far as you're going to get. Now, I did have a chance to talk to passengers this morning, and obviously they are concerned.
It makes me nervous. Yeah, I fly a lot, and I just see things that I know we're not that secure, and it bothers me.
Definitely more aware, and just very, very street smart. Yeah, you have to have those kind of skills, for sure. Yeah.
So once again, the security status or the alert status has not changed here. We're expecting to have some more information around 7 o'clock here at SFO. Once again, there are several flights going to Brussels, but they are all connecting flights. So they'll leave SFO and get to Newark, LaGuardia, or JFK in New York, and from there, that's where you're going to be stopped. So if you're somebody that's going to Brussels, you should know that information. Mark?
All right,
Daria?
Jackie, thanks. We'll check back with you throughout the morning.
And a lot of people in Brussels want to get the information out to their friends and loved ones there and around the world that they're okay. So Facebook has activated its safety check system. That's a way that you're able to tell people that you're okay after something big, earth-shattering has happened, whether it's a natural disaster or, in this case, a terrorist attack. Facebook put that system into place within hours of the deadly explosions that happened about midnight our time. So it's a way for people to mark themselves as safe after that major disaster.
And we let you know about the terrorists. Stay with KRON 4 and have the KRON 4 mobile app. You can get breaking. We'll follow the latest with the Brussels attacks here on KRON 4 throughout the morning. And there's some relief this morning for BART riders in the East Bay. We've been talking with Robin about the trains and the problems between the Pittsburgh Bay Point and North Concord stations. The 6-car BART train runs every 15 minutes between those two stations, and from 4 to 9 in the morning. And then again, they're going to try during the evening commute. And during off-peak hours, commuters will be taking the bus bridge between those stations. The section of track was shut down last week after a mysterious voltage spike damaged some 50 cars. Engineers spent the weekend repairing 35 of those broken cars, but the source of the voltage spike still a mystery. A BART spokesperson thinks it may have been caused because too many cars were running at one time and the system is old. Impacted as BART's running shorter trains because so many were damaged last week, which means the trains are very crowded. BART says it could still take weeks before trains are back and running at full capacity.
President Obama's historic trip to Cuba wraps up today, and he has a full day ahead of him. This morning, he delivers a speech at a historic theater in Havana, and Cuban President Raul Castro will be there. After that, President Obama attends a Cuban Civil Society event at the U.S. Embassy, and then he goes to a Major League Baseball exhibition game that's happening right there in Cuba. It's the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cuban national team. They'll be playing at 10:30 our time. After the game, he boards a plane for Argentina.
And the FBI may no longer need Apple's help hacking into the iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino terrorist attackers. A court hearing was scheduled for today in that case, but it's now been postponed. The FBI saying yesterday that an outside party came forward with a way to hack into that iPhone. The FBI originally wanted Apple to create a special software that would let it bypass the phone's security protocols. Apple's been fighting the order, saying it would create a backdoor that could potentially allow hackers to break.
Let's talk basketball. The Warriors wasted no time in bouncing back from their loss to the Spurs on Saturday night. So now Golden State is another game closer to beating the NBA record for the most wins in a season.
And they took on the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, and the T-Wolves kept it close throughout the entire game, but a strong defensive showing from the Warriors held Minnesota to just 15 points in the fourth quarter. Golden State goes on for the win, 109-104. Draymond Green leading the Warriors in scoring with 24 points. So the Warriors currently stand at 63 wins and 7 losses with 12 games left to play. They are on pace to break the season win record of 72 wins. Their next game tomorrow night against the LA Clippers at Oracle.
And now back to our breaking news coverage of the very latest details in the Brussels terror attacks. At least 26 people are dead, 130 injured after 3 blasts, 2 at the airports and 1 at a subway stop. We're going to have the latest after the break.